Good morning, everybody. So this is gonna be my second video. I just finished doing some not hill repeats. I just finished doing some stair repeats with some squats in there, and I heard this song come on my radio on my phone. That was We March On, and you know, it was just so perfect for what's going on in my life right now, and exactly what I was doing was going up one step at a time and just getting through my workout. And I started thinking, you know, one of the main questions I get is, you know, after the first physical abuse happened, why did you stay? And you know, I've obviously thought about this many times, but trying to help you guys understand, maybe some other people that you may know that's also gone through something like this, is, you know, it wasn't an everyday thing. There wasn't physical abuse every single day. Like, he didn't hit me every single day, he didn't push me every single day, he didn't, you know, do all those kinds of things. So it was really confusing for me, because the times that there were physical abuse, it was so bad that I literally thought I would die. And that's crazy to think and say out loud. But there's the next day, and I would actually say probably about like even up to 4 months after the abuse, it was like he was everything I ever wanted him to be. He would go to church, he would lead the house, you know, cook me breakfast, do all the things that, you know, I always wanted him to do. And probably about month 4, it would start fading, and then it would go back to more emotional and psychological abuse. And with that, it's more of like, why won't you forgive me? You're not being Christian-like because you're not forgiving me for what I did. And, you know, and the thing was, is he never apologized, not one time. I never got like, I'm so sorry. It was never like that. It was just, he acknowledged it, and it was more of a blaming on both of our parts, saying, you know, well, if we didn't do this, then that wouldn't have happened. Or if we didn't do this, you know, then I might not have reacted that way. So, you know, in the back of my head, I kept thinking like, yeah, he's right. If I didn't do that, then that probably wouldn't have happened. But at the end of the day, I was never abusive. I never once laid a finger on him. I never once did anything to deserve to be treated that way. No one deserves that. It doesn't matter what you do, even like, unless it's in self-defense. And even then, you know, you should just walk away. So, you know, and going forward, I guess the psychological and emotional abuse was what was worse than the actual physical, because it was just, I never understood exactly why I kept, you know, I stayed, you know, and that was something I had to fight within myself. But, you know, using my religion against me was a huge factor. You know, saying that I needed to forgive him because I'm a Christian and that's what Jesus would do, was very hard for me to, you know, argue with. Because yes, Jesus does forgive, but I'm not Jesus, and his actions were continuing. It wasn't like he did it one time and repented and, you know, sought out help. That never happened. So I guess this is my video of just trying to explain, like, maybe you'll understand a little bit better as to how women get in these cycles of being abused and then staying, because it's not always physical all the time, you know. And it's confusing when that happens, because it's like, yeah, it happened 2 years ago, but he was also physically abusive 2 years before that, and 2 years before that. So it's like, yeah, it was only every 2 years, but when is enough, you know? And yeah, so hopefully you guys understand just a little bit more about domestic violence and how it's not always physical and it's not always apparent to the eye, that it can definitely be very emotional and psychological. And that's almost worse and harder to recover from than anything else. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and you keep marching on no matter what. Life goes forward, and you can too. You can heal. It might take time, but you can, and you will. Have a good rest of your day. Love ya.